happening? What is happening?
It is the brawl that we've all seen by now. Grown men fighting at a kid's baseball game. It's brutal, and police tell us what we already know. It's completely inappropriate.
9 News reporter Sonia Gutierrez has been following this story for us today, and she joins us from Westgate Park, where this happened. And Sonia, you spoke to the umpire's family today. He's 13. What did they tell you?
Yeah, Kim, so they gave me their version of events, but they wanted to remain anonymous because of all the attention this story has already gotten. The family tells me that the 13-year-old is not only shaken up, but he feels guilty for what happened. He thinks that an umpire should have complete control of the field, but once those parents started fighting each other, he thinks he lost control of that field. So here's what they think happened. They tell me it wasn't a baseball call that was made by the umpire that potentially started the fight. It was a warning to stop using foul language. The family tells me that parents on both sides were yelling profanities at each other. That's when the umpire gave the warning. Someone was mad that the parents weren't kicked out of the game altogether. The umpire's family tells me that he wasn't hurt, but feels guilty again for not telling parents to leave rather than giving them just a warning. Lakewood Police tells me that adults should have known better, and it wasn't the umpire's fault at all.
He needs to know it's not his fault. It's not his fault. He didn't do anything wrong. These parents need to hold themselves to a higher standard. These parents need to remember who's watching them, and it's those kids.
So in my hands, I have the 5 reports of the people who were cited. We've got Gabriel Vigil, we've got Anthony Williams, Gerald Garduno, Manuel Garduno, Manuel Garduno Jr. So all of these people were cited for disorderly conduct. Lakewood Police tells me that they want to continue hearing those tips, getting those calls, because they expect more people will be cited for this event. Tom,
I would
Kim?
think so. There were more than 5 people involved in all of that. And, you know, you talk about holding themselves to a higher standard or just a minimum standard. It's a 7-year-old's baseball game.
Right. And are they not thinking, when you're talking about language of parents, and this is what's so disturbing, we hear again and again about this happening, their own children are hearing that language. You know, I mean, they're 7-year-olds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. And you know, the family of the umpire was telling me too that the 13-year-old even felt a little awkward having to tell adults, okay, now you're kicked out of the game. So that's why he went ahead and did the warning. And now he feels so terrible for this huge brawl that happened because he thinks because of that.
Yeah, he was put in a tough spot, and not by anyone other than those parents there at the game and their behavior. And it's the, you know, it's the second top story on ESPN right now. It is a national story, and it is something that I think is going to continue for a while to people talk about the way parents behave at youth sports. We're going to talk about it a little bit later with Dr. Cheryl Ziegler about parents' behavior at such events. Sonia, we appreciate the update. We'll talk to you coming up. Thanks.
Yep.